So, hello students. I'll be sending you the solution of the division paper, the midterm paper. I had given it as practice weekend material. So that's the same paper. All of them mean the same thing. So I had given it in the weekend, last weekend. And assuming I wanted to give you all time to work out. I didn't want you all to depend on me completely. You all know the topic. You should work out so that it's a practice for you. And then if you're getting stuck, you'll be referring the solutions. Okay. So that's what I'm assuming. And now you can cross check the solutions, whichever you're not able to get. Okay. So now we have the first part, which is fill in the blanks. See, now it's not that the same questions will be given to you. Let me make it very clear. The same types can be asked. Okay. So 3 by 7 and 3. We have to fill in the blanks with less than, greater than, or equal to sign. So now 3 by 7 and 3 by 9. Numerators are same, isn't it? When numerators are same, what is the logic that we adopt? Greater the denominator, smaller is the fraction. So 9 is bigger than 7, isn't it? So 3 by 9 will be smaller than 3 by 7. So open mouth shows that. So this fraction is greater. The numerators are same, whichever has smaller denominator, that will be the greater fraction. Next, 40% and 0.4. So here you have to do calculation. 40% means what? I told you A percent means A by 100. 40% means 40 by 100. Cancel. We get 4 upon 10. 4 divided by 10 in decimal language is 0.4. That is this one. 40% is 0.4. What is the right hand side here? Also 0.4. So equal to. You should be very careful here because it's testing a knowledge of percentage, decimal, then you compare. Now 25% and 1/4. 25% again, I told you in the language of fractions, it is 25 upon 100, which is nothing but 1 by 4. So again, it is equal to. Next is 0.999 and 1.01. So suddenly you feel like writing, okay, 999, so it's bigger, but careful. 0.999. The whole number part is 0 here. And in 1.01, the whole number part is 1. 1 is bigger than 0, no? So you have to compare the whole numbers parts first. So 1.01 is bigger than 0.999. And sometimes be careful with the arrows. You know it's bigger, but by mistake you will put the other way around. Always remember the rule. Open mouth means greater. The closed, the mouth, the beak is the point, that will be the lesser. Or if you're writing it this way, this will be greater, this will be lesser. Okay, coming to this next fifth one, minus 6 plus 5, this left hand side, and the right hand side minus 9 plus 7. Minus 6 plus 5 is minus 1. Minus 9 plus 7 is minus 2. Which is bigger? Minus 1 is bigger than minus 2. If you're getting confused, think of the number line 0, minus 1, minus 2. Always I told you, left means less, more means right. So minus 1 is on the right, minus 2 is on the left. So what is on the left will be less, minus 2 will be less than minus 1, or minus 1 is greater than minus 2. So you have to simplify here first of all, otherwise you will not be able to proceed. Sixth one, minus 7 minus 5. What is minus 7 minus 5? It is minus 12. And what is there on the right hand side? Minus 13 minus 1. It is minus 14. Obviously, again, which is bigger? Minus 12 is greater than minus 14. So if you're still stuck, always think of how the number line is there and how the numbers are aligned on the number line. Okay. Next is 0.1 and 0.08. 0.1, 0.08. We'll put a 0 padding. We'll make them like decimals and we will add them. So 8, 1 plus 0 is 1. So 0.18. So the left hand side, 7th one will be 0.18. And on the right hand side, what you have? 0.09, 0.08. When we add, what do we get? 9 plus 8, 17. 1 plus 0, 1. So 0.17. You're going to get 0.17. You're getting 0.18 one side, 0.17 the other side. 0.18 is greater than 0.17. Remember this. So here again, your addition of decimals is important. You should add properly. Like decimals can be added. If they are not like, you have to put the 0 padding and then you have to add them. Next. Next is 4 by 3 and 5 by 7. You can do the LCM method, no doubt, but there's a shortcut if you remember I told you. 4 by 3, 5 by 7. Cross multiply. 7 4s are 28 will come. Then this side, left side, 5 3s are 15. Which is bigger? That side, numerator is coming. 7 4s are 28, isn't it? 7 4s are 28. So that 4 by 3 will be greater than, 28 is greater than 15. No? 4 by 3 is greater than 5 by 7. Okay. So next we will move on to, so fill in the blanks. You can expect mostly greater than, less than types. Also be careful. In some cases it is equality. Only 3 possibilities: greater than, less than, or equal to. Don't do any guesswork, because it's always good to solve, analyze, and arrive at the solution. Okay, it's any one of the 3 which you have to enter. Next, coming to application and reasoning based problems. So here also you have to do some analysis, but if they are places where you have to, I can ask some of them as match the following. Okay, where you will have to, as MCQs, you have to, not just the final answer is required. The MCQs, final answer is required. Match the following also, final answer, you should match it. But to match it, you should know the logic. Some basic mental calculation at least you have to do, isn't it? When I say 25%, you should know that 25% means I had given you in the language of fractions, it is 1 by 4. So like that. So now let us look at the sum. There are 32 students in a class, of which 20 are boys and the rest are girls. Okay, 32 students. 20 are boys. So how many remaining is what? 32 minus 20, 12. So girls are 12. 32 minus 20. 12 will be girls. So we want the ratio of boys to girls. Boys is to girls. We can write it like this. 20 by 12. Isn't it? And both of them will go by 3. 4 5s are 20. 4 3s are 12. We have cut both of them by 4. 4 5s are 20. So boys to girls ratio is 5:3. Now find the ratio of girls to total strength. Girls is how much? 12, no? Girls to total. Girls is 12. Total strength is 32 students, right? So again, they will go by 4. 4 3s are 12. 4 8s are 32. So it will be 3:8. Okay. So this is how you should know how to go about and solve ratio problems. Basic ones. Now, 2000 to the power 0, 20 to the power of 0, 70 to the power of 0. We know that any number which is not 0, any non-zero number raised to the power of 0 is equal to what? 1. You should know. You should be knowing this. I've taught you also. So suppose in MCQs, I can give you 27. No, you can't confuse. So it's not, you're not adding them. Each number is raised to power 0 and then you're adding, no? So 2000 raised to power 0 is 1. 20 raised to power 0 is 1. 70 raised to power 0 is also 1. So all of them you're adding, you're getting power 1, power 1, power 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. This is the final answer. Okay. So in MCQs or match the following, to confuse if you're getting something else, be very careful. You have to understand that. Next, convert the following to percentage and decimal. Okay. Just look at this sum. Look at this sum, children. Convert the following to percentage. So, I've given you as fractions, 1 by 4th. Okay. Now, if I want to, I'll divide into 3 parts, 3 numbers, no? If I want percentage, what should I do? I have to somehow get what I told you. I should get 100 in the denominator. Remember, when I gave you the table factors of 100, multiply numerator and denominator by 25. We get 25 by 100. 25 by 100 is, in terms of percentage, 25 divided by 100 is 25%. Okay, when the denominator is 100, just write the numerator and percentage. In decimal, 25 divided by 100. You have to jump, no? You're dividing by 0, DL, driving license. You have to shift the decimal point 3 places. So it comes here, 0.25 in the decimal language. It comes to 1 by 8. So here, I told you how to go about. you cannot multiply by 1. You have to multiply by 125 only, because you will get the nearest power of 1000 here. In this case, when you are going to make it, it will be 1000. So 1000 denominator and 125. So 125 by 1000. If it is decimal, it is easy. Decimal is 125 by 1000 is how much? So 3 decimal places, it will shift 3 places. 1, 2, 3. So it will be 0.125. Okay, I have explained this to you. But if it is percentage, what will you do? You have to get 100 down, no? 125 by 10 into 1 by 100. So keep that 100 as it is. Don't touch the denominator 100. What is 125 by 10? 12.5, isn't it? 12.5 by 100, which will be 12.5%. So if you want 100, if you want to express as percentage, try to keep that 100 down. The last thing is 1 by 2. It is very simple. You can, if you want fraction, just multiply it with 5. Not fraction, if you want decimal, 5 by 10, which is 0.5, half technically. And if you want decimal, you try to get 100. You have to multiply by 50. So 50 upon 100, which is 50%. That's it. Be very careful here. When you want decimal, you can get any power of 10 as the denominator, not necessarily 100. But if you want to express as percentage, try to get 100 in the denominator and express the numerator. Next is Vilma has rupees 100 with her, 200 with her. She spent 20% of the amount she had. How much money is left with her? Now, if she has spent 20%, how much is remaining? What is 100 minus 20? 80. 80% is remaining. Simple. You have to just say if she has spent 100, she has spent 20%, 100 minus 20 is 80% remaining. So we need to just calculate 80% of that amount is remaining with her. 80% of 200, which is 80 by 100 into 200. You can cancel out 2 zeros here and top. 80 into 2 is 160. We'll get rupees 160 as the, we reported the units. It is rupees 160 is the amount that is remaining with her, left with her. Now, what is the reciprocal of minus 2 by 7? Reciprocal also means multiplicative inverse. When you take reciprocal or multiplicative inverse, I told you, the sign will not change. If you have A by B, its reciprocal is A by B by A. If you have minus 3 by 5, its reciprocal is 5 by minus 3, or you can even say, you can even express the reciprocal as minus 5 by 3. Both are same. Okay. The same thing here. If you have minus 2 by 7, if you are going to consider its reciprocal or multiplicative inverse, I told you, it will be 7 divided by minus 2. Or you can shift that minus up and you can say minus 7 by 2. Both are same. Both are the same. Okay. The sign will not change. It's only that the numerator will go up and the denominator will come down. Denominator will go up and numerator will come down. They'll swap the positions. Now, 0.036 divided by 9. 0.036. 0.0036. Let's avoid overwriting. So you also, students, don't do any overwriting. Scratch it out if it is wrong. Don't waste time in using whiteners. That is all not required. Don't use ink erasers. Just scratch out. Like how erased, you will not be able to erase on a paper. Just erase and then scratch out and scratch it out and then write the correct thing. Okay. So 0.03036 by 9. So I can also write it as how many places? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 decimal places now. So I can write it as 36 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4. 36 divided by 10,000 into by 9 you can say if you want, or into 1 by 9. It's the same thing. You can also write it as 36 by 10,000 into 1 by 9 also you can write. So now you can cancel it out. 9 ones are 9 fours are. So 4 by 10,000. Where is the hypothetical point? It is here. So put some fake dummy zeros. The hypothetical point is here now. And now because you're dividing, D for driving license, division by left. DL, it moves towards the left now. 4 zeros, so 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has come here now. 0 point, how many? 1, 2, 3, 3, and then 4. This is the answer. 0.0004 is the answer for this kind of problem. Okay, next, moving on. The freezing point of water is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, there are two scales of temperature. If you have studied, if you're not, you will be learning it. One is degrees Celsius and degree Fahrenheit. So, don't have to worry much about the interconversion now because you're just doing maths here. So, Doraemon added some chemical and the freezing point went down. So, something happens and he's putting some chemical, and addition of that chemical results in the freezing point going down. 32 minus 12 it is. So, what is the new freezing point? So, of the new chemical is potassium, it is mentioned here. So, we added potassium. What is the freezing point? It is 32 degrees Fahrenheit minus 12, which is 20 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if to confuse, they can give you options like 32 plus 12, 32 minus 12, and they can give you 32 minus 12, they can say minus 20 and so on. Just be careful. You're doing 32 minus 12 and nothing else. Here, the sum is nothing. It's very simple. It is testing the knowledge of integers, addition and integer subtraction. Now, solve using distributive property. See, A into B plus C plus A into B plus A. I'm saying A into B plus A into C is equal to what? I can take out A common, A into B plus C. This is distributive property. So I can write that here. Now, 1 is a very powerful number. It is a multiplicative identity. See here, minus 53 into 99. That is like our A into B plus I have A, isn't it? I have A. Y into minus 99. So this part you need to be careful. Now, this is a little tricky in that aspect. Not really difficult. It will be a little smart enough. You take these two. What is minus into minus? It is plus. So this amounts to 53 into 99 plus 53. That's the only thing that you need to take care of because there are both negatives. No, you're multiplying two negatives, it becomes a positive. So this is A, this is B. 99 is B. Plus I have A now. I can write 53 as 53 into 1, no harm. Yeah. And I will write that as C. So now we take out A into B plus A into C. A is A into B plus C. That is, write it again. A is what? 53 into B plus C. 99 plus 1. This is easy, no? Now 53 into 99 plus 1 is 100, which is 5,300. So it's very simple. I had to explain to you, so I took time. But if you once you understand when you're doing it, it's just a matter of seconds. You're not going to multiply 53 with 99 and then add 53. That's not required because you're using the property of integers here with respect to addition, multiplication, distributive property it's called. So it's a very interesting property where you can speed up your computation and calculations. Next is express 1 by 5 as a fraction with denominator 15. So A part, we have 1 by 5. I want to change it. It's a fraction, but I want to express it as another fraction where the denominator becomes 15. How is it possible? 5 into 3. So you multiply numerator also by 3. So the fraction will be 3 by 15. 3 by 15. Next, as a decimal, how you can say 1 by 5. So for decimal, what I told you, you have to get a power of 10 in the denominator. 5 into 2 is what? 10. 1 into 2 is 2. 2 by 10. And the fake point is here, no? It will shift here because of 1, 0, no? It is 0.2 is the answer. As a decimal, it is 0.2. As a percentage, this is B part. As a percentage is 1 by 5. I want 100 in the denominator. I told you, if you look at the factors of 10, 1 by 5 into, what was it? Into 20 into 20. 20 by 100. 20 divided by 100 is 20%. Okay. And then as a fraction with numerator 7, this is interesting. So you have 1 by 5. You are going to write it as another fraction where the numerator is 7. So 1 has been multiplied by 7 to get numerator 7. So we'll do the same thing with the denominator. We'll get 5 into 7, which is 35. It's basically the concept of equivalent fractions. Value is the same. They're not same. They're not equal, but the value is the same. So we say equivalent fractions. Okay, next. When minus 12 is divided by dash, the quotient is 4. Minus 12, you divide it by something and you're getting the answer 4. You're getting a positive quotient, which means denominator also has to be negative. Minus 12 has to be equal 3 minus 3. So it will be minus 3 because minus 12 by minus 3, the minus minus will nullify each other and you will get 12 by 3, which is 4. So be very careful here. In options, you might get minus 3, plus 3, 1, 0, many such options. Be very careful. It is because the sign has come, the negative sign, need to ensure what you have to do that. Next, Sinchan scores 56 out of 80 in an exam. Convert his marks into percentage. I told you how to go about doing these sums. You can do direct conversion because some of you told me that you have learned it that way. That is fine. But if you can do it, I told you multiply numerator and denominator by 100. It's another technique. And you do not touch the denominator 100 because I want 100 down. Now 0 will go, 0 will go. Then 8 ones are 8 sevens are 56. See, you need to be a little good with tables here. 7 into 10 is 70. 70 divided by 100, which is 70%. So when he gets 56 out of 80, anybody asks him what is his percentage score? Sometimes they will give you the report. Sometimes in certain report cards, they will ask to write in percentage, right? Then you have to, conversion like this is required. 56 out of 80 is nothing but 70 out of 100 or 70%. Now, which of the following is different from the others? Now, this is a very interesting sum because here you have to find the odd one out. And if you have to find the odd one out, all the working in all the 4 cases should be correctly done. Otherwise, you will not be able to identify the odd one. Let's look at the first one, 20 plus minus 25. So 20 and minus 25, you can drop the minus. The answer is negative 5. Next, 0 minus 5. The answer is minus 5. Remember, be very careful. 0 minus 5 is not 5. 5 minus 0 is 5. I'm writing it here. 5 minus 0 is 5. But 0 minus 5 is minus 5. Next, minus 5 into minus 1. Multiplication. Multiply both negatives. You get plus. 5 ones are 5. Okay. But don't stop. Go to the D part because 2 of them are minus 5. What if D also is different? We have to just check. But we will check. 50 divided by minus 10. So there is plus in the numerator by default, negative in the denominator, plus and minus. The answer is negative. 10 ones are 10 fives are. So 3 of them majority, it is minus 5. The odd one out is option C, which is plus 5. So you need to be careful here. Next is, what is that? Simplify 0.08 plus 0.07. 0.08, 0.07. The reason I'm giving you this sum is for 2 things. So you can write it as 8 plus 7, 15, 0, 0, 1, so 1.15. In some cases, I've seen 1.5 as the option. In some cases, 0.87, I mean. And so many things like this. So be very, 0.15 is the answer. You'll be very careful here because here it is addition of decimals. They are like fractions, you can add them. But while adding, make sure that the addition is performed correctly. What if I give you 0.8 plus 0.07? Again, here it will be, I'll put 0 padding here because 0.8, 2 decimal places in 0.07. Here 1 decimal place, put 1 0 padding. Now it is 0.80, 0.07. So be very careful here, 8 plus 0. So when I say that, you have to make sure that they are like decimals and then perform the addition. Otherwise, you will get confused. If the alignment is not correct, 0.8, 0.07. If I'm going to make any changes, if I say 0.8 and 0.7 and something, it will be a different answer that I will be getting. So you should be careful here. Next is check if 1, 2, 4 and 6 are in proportion. Let's check. So if A, B, C, D are in proportion, what I told you means B into C is equal to extremes, A into D. Let's check whether it's happening. 1, 2, 4, 6. So 1 into 6 is what? 6. Product of extremes 1 into 6 is 6. 2 into 4 is means, 2 into 4 is 8. It's not equal. 6 is not equal to 8. So they are not in proportion. Product of extremes, the end points are not equal to product of means. So it is not in proportion. Let's check the next one. Check if 2, 3, 4, 6 are in proportion. 2, 3, 4, 6. Take the means, 3 into 4, multiply them. 3 into 4 is 12. Take the extremes, the end points I'm saying, 2 into 6. 2 into 6 is 12. Yes. Product of extreme means I've taken here extremes. Product of means is equal to product of extremes. Therefore, you can say that the four numbers that are given are in proportion. The next one is 30% of 100. Pretty simple. You just have to have a knowledge of fractions here. 30 by 100 into 100. It is 30 itself. So be very careful because 30% of 100, it's simple, but sometimes people make mistakes. 20% of 20 is 20% of 100 is 20. 30% of 100 is 30, like that. Now 100% of 30. 100% of 30. This is also seems confusing, but it's 100% means 100 by 100. Of means into 30, which is again 30 itself. I told you, remember, A percentage of B is equal to B percentage of A. Be very careful. Now, next one, the number 1 corresponds to what? It corresponds to what percentage? See, be very careful. It corresponds to 100%. In the language of percentage, 1 is 100%. Is it prime or composite? Number 1 is neither prime nor composite. Neither prime nor composite. It is very important that you know this fact, because if it's prime, it will have only two factors, like now number 2, 2 into 1, number 3, 3 into 1, 5, 5 into 1. But if it's composite, it will have more than two factors. That is, it will have 1 as a factor, it will have itself as a factor, and it will also have one other extra factor, like 4. 4 is 4 into 1. The number 1 is a factor, the number itself is a factor, but I can also write 4 as 2 into 2. So one more factor is there. So when it has more than two factors, we can call it as composite. But in the case of 1, see, 1 is a perfect square. 1 into 1 is 1. But we can't call it as a prime number. It is not composite. So this is very important, because very often 1 is confused to be as a prime number. It is not prime, and it is also not composite. It is the dash identity. It is the multiplicative identity. Why do I say? See, when I multiply any number by 1, I'll get back the number. It acts like an identity, acts like a mirror. 13 into 1 is 13. 1 into 7 is 7. See, I'm getting back the number when I multiply it by 1. 1 is acting like a mirror. So it is a multiplicative identity. Next is the number 0. Does it have a reciprocal? Reciprocal also means what? Multiplicative inverse, I told you. No. 0 has no reciprocal. You need to be very careful. And it is called dash identity. 0 is called what kind of identity? It is called additive identity. Just like for multiplication, we have 1 as additive multiplicative identity. 1 is for multiplication. 0 is for addition. For addition, 0 acts like mirror. 3 plus 0 is equal to 3. 7 plus 0 is equal to 7. We're getting back the number when we perform addition operation with 0. So be very careful. Okay. So it is this. Okay. So and the next thing is 3 examples of unit fractions. Any 3 examples. 1 by 2, 1 by 5, 1 by 13, 1 by 7, 1 by 3. What am I doing here? Unit fraction means a fraction where the numerator is 1. So just you have to know some examples. Next is this one. Express as a decimal and percentage. I will stop now because the video will lengthen. So in the interest of time, I'll stop. I'll get back to you in part 2 of the solution. Continue working out, children. All the best.